What would you do if you returned home to find your sanctuary invaded by a stranger wielding power they didn't understand? My name is Elias Hawthorne, and my sprawling farm in Virginia's rolling hills was my haven, a place where the world's noise faded into the rustle of leaves and the scent of wildflowers. Karen flowers, to be exact, those vibrant, stubborn blooms that cling to life in the harshest soils. They dotted my fields, a symbol of resilience, much like me. But resilience, I'd learn, can be a double-edged sword when pride and power collide. It was a crisp October evening when I pulled up to my farmhouse, the gravel crunching under my truck's tires. I'd been away for a week, handling business in D.C., where I chair every homeowners association from my county to the capital. It's not just a tightlights and network of influence, a web I've woven over decades, ensuring order and fairness in communities that often teeter on chaos. My farm, though, was my escape from all that, or so I thought. As I stepped out, the air felt wrong. Lights blazed from every window of my house, and an unfamiliar SUV sat in my driveway, its engine still ticking. My dog, Rusty, wasn't at the gate, wagging his tail. Instead, I heard a woman's voice, sharp and commanding, barking orders from my porch. "Yes, officer, he's trespassing." I saw him pull up, bold as brass, like he owns the place. I froze. Trespassing? On my own land? My pulse quickened as I strode toward the house, the Karen flowers brushing my boots, their petals glowing under the moonlight. The woman on the porch was in her 40s, blonde hair pulled tight, clutching a phone like a weapon. She wore a pristine cardigan, the kind that screams suburban authority, and her eyes locked onto me with a mix of fear and triumph. "This is him," she shouted into the phone. "Hurry, he's coming closer." "Ma'am," I said, keeping my voice steady, "this is my property. Who are you, and why are you in my house?" She scoffed, undeterred. "Don't play dumb. I'm Karen Whitmore, president of the Blue Ridge HOA. This farm is under our jurisdiction, and you're not registered. I checked the records. You're squatting here, and I'm not letting some drifter ruin our community." I almost laughed. Blue Ridge HOA, that was one of mine. I'd founded it 15 years ago, and every rule, every blade of grass in that jurisdiction answered to me. But Karen's certainty, her righteous fury, was a force of its own. She didn't know who I was, and that ignorance made her dangerous. "Karen," I said, stepping onto the porch, "you're mistaken. I'm Elias Hawthorne. This is my farm. I own it free and clear, and I run every HOA from here to D.C., including yours." Her eyes narrowed, but she didn't waver. "Lies. The records show this land's owner is deceased. I saw the deed myself. You're not fooling anyone." She waved her phone, as if it held the truth of the universe. Deceased? My blood ran cold. My father, the original owner, had passed years ago, and I'd inherited the farm. The paperwork was ironclad, but Karen's words gnawed at me. Had someone tampered with the records? Before I could press her, red and blue lights flashed down the driveway. 2 deputies stepped out, hands on their holsters, assessing the scene. "Sir," one said, "step back. We got a call about a trespasser." I raised my hands, calm but firm. "Officers, I'm Elias Hawthorne. This is my property. I've got the deed inside, and I can prove it. This woman's the one trespassing." Karen's voice rose, shrill. "He's lying. I'm protecting this community. Check the records, not the owner." The deputies exchanged glances. One, a young man named Deputy Carter, nodded at me. "Let's see some ID, sir. We'll sort this out." I handed over my license, my mind racing. Karen's confidence wasn't just bluster, she believed she was right. As the deputies checked my ID, I noticed a figure in the shadows near my barn. A man, slight and nervous, watching us. He wasn't one of my workers, and his presence sent a chill down my spine. Who was he, and why was he here? The older deputy, Grimes, returned from his cruiser, frowning. "Mr. Hawthorne, your ID checks out, but there's an issue. The county records list this property as belonging to a trust, and the named owner passed away. Can you explain?" My stomach dropped. That's my father. He died 5 years ago. I inherited the farm. The records should reflect that. Karen smirked. See? I told you. He's a squatter. I ignored her, focusing on Grimes. Check the deed in my office. Second drawer, oak desk. It's notarized, dated, and legal. Grimes nodded to Carter, who headed inside. Karen crossed her arms, triumphant, as if she'd already won. But something about her certainty and that man by the barn felt orchestrated. I dealt with power plays in HOAs before, but this was personal. Someone was targeting me. Carter returned, holding the deed. It's legit, sir. Elias Hawthorne, sole owner, dated 3 years ago. Karen's face paled, but she doubled down. That's forged. I saw the trust documents myself. Ma'am, Grimes said, his tone sharp. You're on private property without permission. That's trespassing. I suggest you explain yourself. Before Karen could respond, the man by the barn stepped forward, his voice trembling. Wait, two need to say something. He was in his 30s, wiry, with glasses that slipped down his nose. I'm Tom Vestry, Karen's assistant. She didn't act alone. I helped her. The air grew heavy. Karen's eyes widened, betrayal flashing across her face. Tom, shut up. But Tom kept going, his words tumbling out. She found a loophole in the county records, an old trust linked to your father. We thought we could claim the farm for the HOA, sell it to developers. The Karen flowers, they're rare, worth a fortune to botanists. Karen wanted the land for profit, not the community. I stared at Tom, the pieces falling into place. The Karen flowers, my farm's pride, weren't just symbols, they were a motive. Developers had been sniffing around for years, and Karen, with her HOA clout, saw a chance to cash in. But she hadn't counted on me or my influence. Tom, I said, my voice low, why confess now? He swallowed hard. I grew up on a farm like this. My dad lost it to people like her, people who twist rules for greed. I couldn't let it happen again. Not to you. Karen lunged at him, but Carter restrained her. You idiot. You'll ruin everything. Grimes cuffed her, reading her rights as she protested. Tom stood frozen, guilt etched into his face. I should have felt vindicated, but all I felt was hollow. My farm, my sanctuary, had been violated not just by Karen, but by a system I'd built. The HOAs, my web of control, had bred people like her, wielding power without principle. As the deputies led Karen away, I walked to the edge of my field, the Karen flowers swaying in the breeze. They were beautiful, resilient, but tainted now by greed. Tom lingered nearby, unsure if he was free to go. Tom, I said, you did the right thing, but it doesn't erase what you started. He nodded, tears in his eyes. I know. I'm sorry. I turned away, letting him leave. The deputies drove off, Karen's voice fading into the night. Rusty finally appeared, limping from the barn, where he'd been locked away. I knelt, stroking his fur, my heart heavy. I'd won, but at what cost? My farm was safe, but the trust I'd placed in my own system was shattered. The Karen flowers, once a symbol of strength, now mocked me with their stubborn survival. I stood, staring at the horizon, where dawn was breaking. I'd built an empire of order, but it had bred chaos. The bitter truth was clear. Power, even mine, could corrupt as easily as it protected. The flowers would bloom again tomorrow, but I'd never see them the same way. Nd.